God only knows where to find you. God only knows how to break through. God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Lovely track for King and Country with Dolly Parton, of course, on their track, God Only Knows. Earlier this year, when human rights lawyer Deborah Kayembe was made rector of Edinburgh University, it was regarded as a landmark moment. She is the first person of colour in this highly respected role and only the third woman in 400 years. What is remarkable is that Deborah came to the UK as an asylum seeker after fleeing her native Democratic Republic of Congo in 2005. However, among the congratulations, her appointment was also brought about racist abuse on social media. Deborah has been in the post since March and she joins me now. Good morning and a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. And again, thank you for joining us. Now, as I said, you're the first person of colour, the third woman to take on the role of rector in over 400 years. How much do you feel a sense of responsibility?
Oh, it's very heavy. And it's the responsibility of the time that we are going through, the difficult time that we are going through at university and the UK on its darkest time, and also the future of the people of color taking up very influential role around the world. So it's a three-dimensional responsibility. In the every day I wake up and thinking, so what's the next move? And am I doing right, or am I going into the right direction? So that is my life since then.
Well, as I said, you received many congratulations, but sadly there have still been those who tried to demean you with racist comments and insults. How do you respond to that?
I don't pay attention to those racist abuse and trying to diminish me, but my sense that I sense that my feeling is that they've realized that they were wrong in the way, and the majority of the people of Scotland are welcoming and they are proud of what I've achieved and they are looking forward to work with me. So these abuse are still coming in and coming in. I don't pay attention. So I'm sending a message to them, don't waste your time, because calling me name is not going to diminish anything on me.
And I suppose in a sense, you know, it's the responsibility of your new role as rector and, as you say, too, of tackling people's experience, or if they experience racism anywhere, but particularly here in Scotland. How do you feel you can use this new role as rector to counter racist narratives? What do you hope can come out of it?
Really looking forward to use my influential role as rector to be able to change people's mind, but in a good way. You know, you can make change in a bad way, in the wrong direction. What I want to promote more now is this education of truth and dignity and compassion, and trying to know who is in the front of me, who's the neighbor next door, and what respect I should give into every person, regardless his religion, his skin color, or where he was born. And I think the university is the right place to do so. It's the right place where we prepare the future. It's the right place where we prepare our policies. So it is, I am in the right place right now, and I kind of like it very much.
Well, there is a review going on currently about Edinburgh University's links to the slave trade, and a university building named after the philosopher David Hume was renamed last year following protests about his views on race. How do you reconcile accepting this role of rector while acknowledging the university's history?
We must learn from the past, and we must fix what we've done wrong in the past. The University of Edinburgh is not less involved in slavery. It was involved in slavery. It was involved in racism. This is something that I know about. And if the university and all the staff and all the management agree that we can correct and fix the past in order to build a better future, I am with that. I don't see any conflict. Every single person has a past, has a history. You introduced me, you said Deborah Kembe came to Scotland as an asylum seeker. So if 400 years ago, the University of Edinburgh, it was a platform for slavery, it was. So it's time now to correct those mistakes and to move forward. That's all.
Well, speaking of history, Deborah, I'd like to go back into your own personal journey if I can. You were born and raised in Kinshasa, and I believe it's a source of great pride that your initial education was in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why does that mean so much to you?
It means that we as African, as a continent, as people, we can contribute in any society as free, dignified people. It means that the education we received in Africa is valuable as well as the education we can receive here. And we cannot be excluded in any society just because we're Black or just because we're African. So there is value in Africa. There is good education in Africa, and these individuals can make great contribution into humanity. That is what it means to me.
Tell me about the environment you grew up in, Deborah, and how much your parents encouraged your education.
Well, let's say that I was one of those people brought up in, let's say, privilege family, because we have means, we have financial means. So my parents could afford anything, could afford education for me. But there was a moment in a way the country changed, because there was a new president coming in the country, and there was a war in the Congo that affected the whole society. So people and parents struggled with financial means. And in some moment, my family had a choice between educating the boys instead of the girls, and giving to the girls to say, you stay right there, wait until you get married and you go. And that happened to me when I finished my undergraduate level at law school. But again, I have to fight with my parents to make them understand that I want to continue until I've completed all my courses at university. So it was some kind of battle, I have to say. But then my parents realized then the world is changing very quickly. So if we might just have to give them the chance to get more education and see what how the society are going to look at them. So it wasn't something that it was granted. No, it was something that I have to fight for it. Becoming the youngest, the only girl in my family for completing the university, and the first in my family to go to the bar to become a lawyer. So for generations, so it was a fight. It wasn't easy, no.
It couldn't have been. And you came to the UK in 2005 as a refugee and immediately entered the asylum process. Tell us just a bit of your personal experience of being an asylum seeker.
Being an asylum seeker in the UK was one of the most disappointing moments in my life, because as we are in Africa, outside the UK, we look at the UK as the greatest example of human rights, the greatest example of humanity. But the treatment I had as an asylum seeker was appalling. It was, I mean, I don't. When I look back, it's so painful to see the thing that I've gone through. And I keep saying this: if it wasn't for ordinary people with their compassion, perhaps I could never survive the asylum system. It was tough. It was difficult. We lived with very little financial means. I mean, I remember the first 3 months in my house, I struggled to have a TV, so it was just dark in the house. So it was a difficult time, and I'm guessing, you know, that inspired me to organize the interpreting and translation service for asylum seeker and refugee at that time for free, voluntarily, because even about the case, as it was going to the immigration service, if you don't have a good interpreter, your case can be dismissed and you can be sent back to your own country. And then there was also the other issue of the social life. I mean, it was tough, very tough. But, you know, so grateful on the day I was elected rector of Edinburgh University. Those people who saw me the first 2 weeks, I was an asylum seeker, calling me on the phone, you know. And we didn't have any words, just crying on the phone, because you don't know where life can take you. You know, the end of the tunnel is always something there. And our tears were just that They did nothing in vain. They was there to give me the strength to continue and to see this day happen. Yeah.
Absolutely, especially because you were forced to leave the DRC, weren't you, Deborah?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Tell me what you can about that when you had to leave.
Well, the at that time I was a human rights lawyer, so the work which I was working made so many people uncomfortable. You know, when you work in terms of corruption in a country that involve natural resources that kill so many people in the Eastern Congo, you know, some people will not hear the truth that comes from what's really going on in the country. Because I keep saying this until today, what's happening in the Congo is not something that it's something that we can stop overnight. We can stop with one single decision and peace will return in the Congo. But it's been maintained until now. It's been maintained. Every single person who tried to bring the light and what's happening in the Congo or the truth so the war can stop and people can live at peace on those areas where natural resources are being taken away illegally, you know, they end up leaving the country, they end up dead, even in asylum. So that is something that it has to be said to the world. Congo is not somewhere, it's not an impossible place. It's a peaceful country with peaceful people, with a legendary hospitality. They welcome everyone in the Congo. There is no such a hatred in the Congo against foreigners or anyone. But they're creating all this hostile environment around the Congo in order to steal the natural resources. And that is the sad truth. And that is the reason I left Congo.
And all of these experiences, from leaving to entering and enduring the asylum process here in the UK, how would you say these experiences feed into your work as a human rights lawyer?
It gives me the background of someone who has lived the experience. You know, there's a difference of someone who heard about the story to someone who have lived the experience. So I know what going on in someone who has been forced to leave his country, to go through an humiliation, because there was a moment I felt like a slave in Britain. I felt like a slave for maybe 2 or 3 years. And then I started, people of good heart, of compassion, hold me and start putting me up. Our beautiful National Health Service look after my mind for all over 9 years to counseling every single month. You know, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I could have survived all of this. You know, so that experience is the cost of what I have been for just trying to bring the truth into the table. You know, the day I become rector, I receive a message from someone I never knew, but I receive letter from all around the world since I become rector. But one of them said, what happened to you becoming rector is justice. Simply as that.
Well, thank you, Deborah, this morning, and congratulations once again on your appointment.
Thank you very much.
Rector of my old alma mater, Edinburgh University. We wish you well.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
We discussed the talking points of the week at this year's General Assembly of the Church